I think this presentation is in line with what Dr. Vikas has already talked. He talked about very clear cut corneal lacerations, but what happens normally in our countries is they come with a lot of infections because you have delayed presentations. They don't have ways or economics, or they are not aware that they should come in time, and they don't present very early to us. So my topic is, it's an infected corneal laceration. So we all know that laceration is something where there is a deep cut with some sharp object, and it can penetrate, like what Dr. Vikas said, it can be lamellar, or it can be full thickness, or it can also be a rupture of the globe. So corneal lacerations, like we said, these are very serious injuries and which actually need a very urgent medical attention. So I've just kept few cases. So this is a case where the patient is a 45-year-old male who presented with injury of stone. So these stone injuries are very common, and we don't have any laws which is related with industries or occupations. They don't wear safety glasses. They are unaware. So the patient came with painful red eye, delayed presentation, and the patient was treated with steroids and antibiotics. Steroids is given very easily by the pharmacists only, by the in the pharmacy shops. They are not actually owned by the pharmacist also. And there was a foreign body in that lacerated wound, and so we diagnosed the patient with multiple foreign bodies in the wound with stellate laceration and endophthalmitis. And this patient, we did repair, we did a tectonic keratoplasty because we wanted to save the eye of the patient, and we also give intravitreal injection. But at the end of the day, if you see, the patient has no vision. We could only save the globe. So you know what this patient said once we met him somewhere. The patient said that why did I come to the hospital, or why did I get a repair done? Even if I would have stayed at home, my eye would have gone into phthisis. So what did we actually do? So that was something that was a question which we really need to think about. This is a second case where it is a 9-year-old boy who had an injury with an arrow. So we have a lot of these festivals, especially during Deepavali and even during Dashera. These are our festivals which are very important, where they have a lot of these injuries, where they play games and they have this bow and arrow, and they also have injuries with needles. And also these type of cases, you know what, many times they have a delayed presentation, especially in Nepal, and I think even in India. Lack of communication, the child will never tell the parent that the patient he has an injury, because he feels scared, because normally we have a tendency to scold or even hit our children, that okay, why did you do like this, so they don't tell you. And lot of traditional medications are used which are in the form of milk, even the mother's milk. But the thing is, how do you transfer that milk? Then with cock's blood or a hen's blood, or many people even apply the kajal, which is eyeliner in English. So they use many of these traditional medications. Sometimes they also use surma, which actually has glass. So many of these traditional medications were used, and then there was lack of surgical facilities. Many of our peripheral hospitals, they don't have GA facilities because it's a child. You can't repair. By the time the patient comes to you, the patient doesn't have money to travel to your peripheral, your tertiary centers. And by the time the patient comes, the patient already has an infected laceration which has with endophthalmitis. So here we did a primary closure and we gave intravitreal. We also took samples from the anterior chamber. But see again, at the end of the day, the patient only has a vision of 3 by 60, and the patient also develops cataract. So now this is again a very young boy, 15-year-old. He's fell down in the school accidentally on a stump of the grass, the maize plant, and that maize, you can see the foreign body is there. So this patient had come immediately to us. We did remove the foreign body, we did repair, we did treat him properly, we took intravitreal, but see, we missed the fungus. So it was actually fusarium. So we later on we gave him even intra stromal. We give this voriconazole. We also gave he developed endophthalmitis, secondary glaucoma. We also gave him amphotericin later on, but we lost the case. He was a young boy. Now he's actually in US. We lost that case, and till date I regret that somewhere I missed this fungal infection. And see, he is also in thysis bulbi. So, what is important, especially I think all of you, when the younger generation is there, it's very important to evaluate your corneal lacerations whenever they come to you. They may be infected with the foreign bodies, they can be a corneal laceration. This corneal laceration, if it has a corneal ulceration there, even if you repair it, it's not going to stay. And it's very important to evaluate for endophthalmitis. That is very important. So look for foreign bodies, whether it is metallic or non-metallic, like what Dr. Vikas said. Dr. Purendra Bhasin is there. He is a trauma specialist. So it's very important whether you go for a CT scan, whether you do an MRI, an ultrasound. See, these type of investigations which may be lacking, but at least when they come to your place, please do it. An evaluation is very important, whether it is a vegetative matter, whether it is a glass, whether it is a stone, because most of them, you know what, they're hitting on the stone. There are so many of these quandaries and these construction workers who come with this type of injury. Even when they are in the fields, they're actually, when they're digging, that stone just goes and they don't realize that it can be so dangerous for them. So your presentation, see this, we have these cases where they just go into your corneas and then they become infected. So it's very important, again, like I said, look for the ulceration of the wound. That is very important. Many times we have seen that because it's a medical college, we have our residents on the posting for 24 hours. They have repaired cases where there are infection or there is a corneal ulceration. There's no point actually repairing. You need to treat these cases as corneal ulcerations. So they repair it and the sutures just go away. So you need to do an ultrasound to look for endophthalmitis. And see, we all know that these type of patients who have infected corneal lacerations can present as with pain, with redness, with diminution of vision, sometimes they just present to you with photophobia, and they can be bleeding from the eye. And we all know that you have to look for the foreign bodies, the stromal infiltration. Like Dr. Vikas said, it's very important to actually document or see or look for the edges, the margins, and the base and the full thickness of the corneal laceration. Look for whether there is an hypopyon, whether there is uveitis, whether there is vitritis, and whether there is a foreign body in the anterior chamber or in the vitreous. Most of the time, this is missed, or even a foreign body in the angle. That is also missed many times, and absence of the red fundal glow. So, we all know that, especially in our countries like Nepal and India, we have predisposing factors like trauma with vegetative matters, with animal horn or the hoof. The foreign bodies in the wound need to be assessed. Use of traditional medication. See, you have to ask the history. It's very important. Use of steroids. It is just given off the counter very easily in our country, especially in Nepal. Whether your patient is a child, whether there is a delayed presentation. Most of our patients land up in delayed, very in weeks, sometimes even after 2 weeks. And whether there is a delay in getting the treatments, at least you should start with antibiotics, and whether there is an inappropriate treatment. So it's very important that you manage. And like we said, it's very important to do the investigations. You go for corneal scrapings, you do anterior segment OCT. Like we've already said, to do an X-ray, MRI, and ultrasound, and a photographic documentation is very important nowadays because it can also be a legal problem for you. And like we said, you look for the foreign body, send that foreign body for culture sensitivity. Most of the time, we just miss that point. You flush it with betadine, or even if required with gentamicin or with antifungal solutions, and then treat the patients accordingly with whether it is an antibiotic or antifungal. And if there is a shallow anterior chamber, if you feel, depending on the type of laceration, you can go for glue, use a BCL, or if it is a large and deep laceration, you can also use a BCL, or you can suture. Or many of the times, we have also done tectonic keratoplasty. And at present in Nepal, I think we are doing very good with cornea collections by with hospital cornea retrieval programs. So many times, if the cornea is available, we have also done tectonic keratoplasty. So if there is an ulceration, manage it like an ulceration or corneal ulcer, do a scraping, treat the ulceration like corneal ulcer. And depending, you also have to infiltrate these antifungals or the antibiotics into the edges or into the wound margins, and then accordingly you suture. If there is an endophthalmitis, it is very important to do a vitreous tap. Even if it is a case of corneal laceration, send for culture sensitivity, give intravitreal antibiotics, antifungals, and steroids if required. But you have to make sure that you are excluding that it is not a fungal infection. I think that is what we missed in our first case where we lost the eye, and it is a young boy, and I still regret it. And it's very important that you should do an AC tap. I think many of our residents and many of our young ophthalmologists are missing that. And if required, you also have to go for a vitrectomy. And it's very important nowadays that you explain the timely, you have to explain the prognosis to the patient. So, timely intervention and your proper management is very important, and your visual rehabilitation will depend on how you have managed your case. Whether you go for a keratoplasty, if there is a retinal detachment, definitely you have to do it in time. And later on, you can go for an optical keratoplasty if everything is fine with your posterior segment. And if required, you have to go for visual rehabilitation and for visual low vision aids. So the take home message is a proper diagnosis or an early diagnosis and proper judgment. This is, I think this is where you should emphasize. It's very important to look into everything, right from your lids to your cornea, whether there is a foreign body in the anterior chamber, do the proper investigations, your visual rehabilitation, how you explain to the patient. Because if you don't tell patient about, or if you don't warn, or if you don't tell about the prognosis, they may think that the patient will get 6/6 vision. Sometimes you may not get. Dr. Vikas patient has got 6/6 vision even in corneal lacerations. So it may not be there. My 2 3 patients, like I've already showed, it's already into thysis bulbi. So you have to be very careful. And you should also tell about possibility of evisceration or enucleation. I think that's all. Thank you so much. And I think this is my last presentation here. So I would like to say that all of you have a very happy stay here in Nepal. And we want that all of you should come back again and again. And when you go back, please see Kathmandu and Nepal if possible, and have a safe flight back home. Thank you so much.